All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining me on this program. This is the Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program, and as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. Now, with that, this is part 2 of our lesson. What did I call it? I said invest, prepare, and survive. This is part 2 of invest, prepare, and survive. Now, when we left off, we were talking about community, and living in community. Okay, I just think this is a message that needs to be taught. It needs to be talked about. And again, I also put out a call. I said, check the description box below. If you want to send an email and say, hey, I'm interested in living in a community. And I even called out some people. I said if you're a man. You have a family, or it could be single brothers too, but you have a man, you have a family, you say, hey, I want to live on community. I'm ready to, make the sacrifice, live in community, things like that. Send me an email, FOI Bible Studies, FOI Bible Studies at inbox.com. But it's, like I said, it's in the description down below. So you can be a single brother. Okay, you're a single brother and you want to make that sacrifice, and you're thinking about, this is the beginning stages. You're thinking about you want to live in community. I said there's some sisters, right? Okay, there's the widows. Okay, I'm trying to address everybody that the Bible talks about. Talk about the widows. We're talking about the single mothers, out there. And you want to live in a community. Okay, the widows. You want to live in a community. Things like that. You send an email, okay? Send an email, say I'm listening to that. I'm interested in that. And what we'll do is we'll set up like a Zoom meeting, a Zoom call. I'll come back to the channel. I'll let you guys know. Or actually, I'll answer you in the email of when we'll have a Zoom call. We'll all get on the call. We'll talk about some preliminary things, get to know one another, and then we'll start setting some things up, okay, from there. But those who are serious, okay, those who are serious, those who really, really want to do it. Does that mean we're going to make a move tomorrow or the next day or anything like that? No, we're going to set up a meeting, going to put things in place, and set up some and seek wise counsel on that, right? Those who've gone before us and things like that. So we're going to look at that, and we'll set that up. Again, interested in that? Description box down below, send an email, let me know that that's something that you're interested in, and I'll include you in on the Zoom call, in the Zoom meeting, right? And we'll set that up. So again, this lesson is invest, prepare, survive, okay? Invest, prepare, survive. Some of us, we looked at, 2020, and what's it so good? Some people out there, they were caught unprepared, just not ready, not really, not really prepared for what was to come. And a lot of people obviously wasn't prepared, really didn't see that coming. But some of us in the ministry kind of saw something like that coming. We probably didn't know what that was, but that was another sign, right? That was another sign. That was something. I believe something from the Most High, right? It was kind of a warning shot, that type of thing. And I noticed something. Those who lived in community was way leaps and bounds and leagues ahead of those who were not. Those who were prepared was leagues ahead. They didn't skip a beat. That's fine. It was not wholly dependent on, the city and things like that. And there are people who are making sacrifices and really getting out there and getting it done, right? Doesn't matter to me whether you guys, want to live in community and all that or not. My plan is to get a ranch, buy some land, get a ranch, start homesteading and all that. I'm still going to do that, right? Whether I do it with just me and my family or whether some brethren want to lock arms and do it together, either way, it doesn't matter really to me, right? So that's going to happen. Again, this message too. It's not for everybody, because not everybody's going to want to do that. But then again, not everyone's going to have the temperament to be able to live in community, right? And I'm not trying to be mean, not trying to be ugly, but some people cannot cooperate with others. Some people don't have all the best intentions, okay? Some people are selfish, some people are lazy, some people are leeches, some people are all talk and no action, some people want to take advantage of a situation. They're not thinking about the betterment of the community, right? Because when you get in a community, all those things are going to be found out, right? People can only pretend for so long. All those things will be found out. People don't want to follow order and protocol. It's just so much, right? It's just so much there. And not everyone's cut out for it. Okay. It's really that simple. Not everyone's cut out for it. So I know not everyone's called to do that, right? But it's a heart check. It's a character check, right? To see if you can. What's in you, any flaws, any imperfections that are in you are going to come out of you in the community, right? If you're lazy, the whole community is going to be able to see it, right? If you're a liar, everyone's going to find that out. If you have a huge ego, everyone's going to see that. They're going to find that out. If you're selfish, people are going to see that. They're going to find that out. If you're greedy, you're going to, all the imperfections that are in you will come out of you in a community. Okay? Now, this is what I've been learning and what I've been studying and talking to people who actually live that life, right? I'm not in the community, all right? Not yet. I'm not in the community. But all these things, just from the people, I've talked to who have experience in people who are living in community and people who used to live in community. Those type of things come out, right? Because it's humans, right? Everyone sometimes. First of all, you gotta be in one accord, right? And everyone has their own. Too many people have their own agenda. When you're in one accord, singing from the same sheet of music, you have what's called harmony, right? If everybody's in the same key and the same note, or the music aficionados will appreciate that, then you're gonna have some harmony, right? It doesn't matter that you have a whole lot of different instruments out there, right? But if you have a good, effective leader, i.e. a conductor, you can make good music. We don't all have to play the same instrument to make good music. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and jump back into the scriptures that we're talking about building community, right? And we left off in 1 John chapter 1, verse 7. So now we're going to go to 1 Thessalonians. Let's go there. First Thess in chapter 5. First Thess chapter 5, and we're going to read verse 14. Okay? And it says, "And now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, and be patient toward all men." Okay, this is going to be vitally important when it comes to living in the community, right? That's going to be vitally important, right? It says that I exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly. So those, you give them a warning. You're in the community, somebody's out of line, out of order, disrespectful, something like that. You give them a warning. Hey, man, look, you need to cut that out. Hey, we don't do that over here. You give them a warning. They continue, like I said, first a second warning, and then, hey, they got to go. So you and a couple of brothers might have to escort him and his things up out of here. You get an unruly, wicked woman who is a bad example to the other women, who is attitudinal and getting all in the face of her husband and all of that, just being an unholy terror or something like that. Give her a warning. Hey, you need to calm that down, okay? We can't have all that. We can't have a riotous person, whatever. Gotta go. Same thing. Even if you have an abusive brother, we know there, and we sit there and we can see the evidence that he's abusive, whatever. He's gotta go. You see? So whatever, we can't have unruly, okay? Some unruly, right? Comfort the feeble-minded, okay? You comfort those. We know, you know what feeble-minded is, right? But you want to comfort them and take care of them, right? Everybody, has a place, right? Support the weak and be patient towards all men, right? Obviously, there's some deal breaker type things that'll get you out of community right away. And then there's some things that you can kind of work with, you can kind of work with them, I mean, adultery, you out of here. You out of here. Stealing, you out of here. Come on. There's some certain things, it's like, come on. You got to be above, your character got to be above certain things. You don't come together to steal from one another. You're not going to sleep with another man's wife. Come on. We got to be way more mature than that, right? Okay. And besides, the Bible tells us to separate ourselves from people like that, right? So that's got to go. You can't have that. But there's some things to think about. Galatians 6:2. Go back a couple of books. Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. It says, bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. So you bear one. That's another thing with community, right? The sisters might have their struggles with whatever it is that, that's in their arena, right? They may have a struggle, right? And the best people to understand them are other sisters, right? Then that sister can go talk to a group of other sisters, right? To help bear that burden. It's something like, sister, I don't understand. I got this. I don't know. How do I keep it? Then the other sisters can help them. The aged women can help. Okay. Those who've been walking in that truth. Okay. They can help them. Oh, I know exactly what you've been going through. Look, here's a couple of suggestions, right? That type of thing. Same thing. Bear each other's burdens. Okay. Same thing with a brother. He's struggling. He's like, man, I just want to take care of my family. And, I'm not able to do this or not able to do that. Boom. Brethren helping brethren. Iron sharpening iron. Right? Helping each other out. Bearing each other's burdens. Okay? So that's what you want to do. That's the kind of thing that you want to do. Help each other out. Let's go to Proverbs 27:7. I already said that, but that's okay. We're gonna let the Bible speak, right? 27:17, which I've already said, but it's okay. There's no problem with reading it out of the Word and letting the Bible speak. And it says, iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Okay? So we sharpen one another. Sometimes there may be, iron sharpening iron. Sometimes there might be sparks. Okay? Sometimes a sharp rebuke might have to go forth. Be like, look, man, you know better than that. But sometimes you just gotta be straight up. You're like, look, man, come on, man. You know better than that. Come on, that's ridiculous. What you mean? You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. You just gotta just straight talk. It's just straight talk. Come on. Right? But that's how we sharpen one another. Okay? Nobody's above reproach, right? Okay? Now, there's got to be a level of respect there. Okay? There's a level of respect. But then at the same time, hey, if someone's grossly misunderstood, that's it. Obviously, like you have a head of the community. Okay? If he's doing something wrong, whatever, hey, now that's private. I didn't say he's above correction. But out of respect, you take that in private and you're like, hey, listen, this confused me here. What, can you explain that or whatever? And then obviously if the explanation doesn't make sense, whatever, then it's like, then there's like some counsel, right? There's some counsel there, right? So nobody's above reproach. And anybody can be corrected. Because sometimes, hey, person could just be simply mistaken. Oh, I misunderstood. And they're just simply mistaken. That's okay, because that can happen to anybody, right? That can happen to anyone. So no big deal. No big deal. But that's how it happens, okay? That's how it happens. Proverbs 17:17. Let's go to Proverbs 17:17. Okay? And it says, a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So when times get rough, is what I was saying. Again, you're in community, and things go awry. There's things that go awry. You might have a problem with somebody down the road or another community or whatever, right? Now you have your brethren as your helpers, as your backup, right? Same thing. That's one of the advantages. Now, obviously, like I said in the other video, I said in part 1, I said there are advantages and disadvantages of being alone. There are advantages and disadvantages of being in the community. Now, one of the things about being in community is that it's not all about you. That's the thing. You can't be selfish and self-centered when it comes to the community. Oh, well, if you're the leader or whatever, it's all about you. It's up. No. Then you know nothing about being a leader. Because the leader has to think of the entire community all the time. He has to think of the betterment of the entire community all the time. He has to put the needs of the community before his own. He has to make sure everybody else is eating. before him. He has to have a plan. He's up late at night worrying about certain things. He's hearing about problems that other people have not even heard about and he has to deal with, right? The leader is doing things and trying to come up with certain plans almost 24/7. Almost 24/7. He has to appoint people, put them in place, and then he has to inspect what he expects from others. And he has to hold other people accountable. And he has to be accountable all the time. Then he has to hold other people accountable. I can go on and on and on about leadership and what it takes and all that other stuff, right? Now, I'm not saying because, I'm the world's greatest leader. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that I have seen great leaders in action. I've seen it. I've sat with great leaders. I have led. I've read up on a lot of leadership. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And if you've been a leader or you've been around a leader, then you know exactly what that saying means. It's like the sword of Damocles all the time waving above your head. Let's keep on going. Okay, now we're going to go to 2 Thessalonians. We're going to go to 2 Thessalonians. Let's see, in chapter 3. Chapter 3. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. Let me get to it. Verse, there you go. 2 chapter 3. And we're going to read 6 through 11. It says, "Now we command you, brethren, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the traditions which he received from us." Same thing. Same thing. You see, it's what I was saying. I'll read 6 again. It says, "Now we command ye, brethren, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, that ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the traditions which we receive, that he received from us." Right? So obviously, the main thing that you're going to have in your community, obviously, is your bylaws is going to be the Bible, the word, right? The Bible is going to be your bylaws. And then, of course, you're going to have some other things as well added on there to help run the community, right? But you have someone who walketh disorderly and not after the traditions and the rules of the community. You got to withdraw yourself. He got to go, or she has to go. They got to leave. They're out of here. Okay? They got to go. It's just that simple. They got to go. Now let's continue. It says, "For yourselves know how ye ought to follow us, for we behaved not ourselves disorderly among you." Okay? So, the same thing we expect. If I come to you and I come to you, I'm going to be orderly. I'm going to be in order. I'm going to, tell me how it is on your land, on your property, in your community, and then I'm going to follow those rules if I'm there. If I don't want to follow those rules, then I just leave, right? So I'm going to act orderly. If I come to your house, your home, your property, or whatever, your community, then I'm going to follow your rules. You got to let me know what they are, and I'm going to follow your rules, okay? So that's how it's supposed to be done. So if someone is living in the community and the rules are established, you need to abide by those rules or leave. Now, again, if you're the type of person who don't want to live in a community, you don't want to follow rules, don't go to a community. Because the orderly community has rules. Without rules, there is no order, right? Let's keep that in mind, okay? So, 2 Thess, we're going to go all the way to 11 anyway. So verse 8, it says, "Neither did we eat any man's bread for naught, but wrought with labor and travail night and day, that we might not be chargeable to any of you." Meaning we worked for our food, right? We worked for our provisions. That way nobody can say, "Oh, we freeloaded off of you." That's the same thing. So you go there, it's like, today it's like when you go to someone's house and the dinner party, and you want to bring something, right? You want to bring something to get, so you know you got to eat and drink. You want to bring something, right? Bring some food, something to drink, something like that, for example, right? You spend a day with the brethren. You go there, brother, and he got a project. He's out working on something in the garage or in the shell, in the field or whatever. You lend him a helping hand. If you're spending the day with him, right? Say, hey man, what can I do? Let me help you up. I'll grab a shovel or pick or something. What you need done? Work with you. Boom. At the end of the day, y'all have a drink, get some food. You worked. And that was a blessing to him. That's a blessing to you. And it's his hospitality is a blessing to you. And you helping him out is a blessing to him. That's how it should be in a community as well. That's how it should be in a community as well. Right? And then he says in verse 9, he said, not because we have not power, but to make ourselves an example unto you to follow us. Like, we have power, we have authority. I mean, we have authority. I mean, yeah, in this case, we're disciples or apostles and all that other stuff. We're heads of the church and all that. But still, we're still going to be an example to you when you go to somebody's. If we go to somebody's property, this is how we're going to carry ourselves. We're going to be a benefit, not a burden to other people. We want you to be the same thing. That's our example, right? Verse 10. For even when we were with you, that we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat. You're not gonna just sit up and do nothing. Okay? You're not gonna sit up and just do nothing for your meal. Okay? Now, unless your host is insisting you do nothing, it's like, hey, what can I do? Nope, you can't do nothing. Nope, don't want you to. No, you relax. Okay, if they're like that, that's a little different. But you try to help. Okay? For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly, working not at all, but are busybodies. All you want to do is sit, talk, gossip. You're not really, Again, it's some community type rules. And this is, Paul going to various communities, right? Going to various assemblies. I mean, to someone's house, it could just be someone's house. But one of the things you cannot deny that Israel lived amongst each other, either on the same land or in the same city, same block, same neighborhood. They lived close to each other. Why? Because of their hospitality and being together as a people, strengthening each other. Is that not what the different people do today? The people we call races, right? The different races of people. Okay, I'm saying races, not racists, but the different races. That's what they do, right? And then we're doing it. I'm not even doing it among race. I'm doing it among belief. That's all I'm talking about. I'm talking about belief. So why not Israel? I'm talking about belief. Why not Israel? If other races and other religions can do it, why not Israel? That they can work amongst each other. They can live amongst each other, be fine. They can work with each other, be fine. They can do business with one another and be fine. Think about that for a second. Does Israel, do we do business with each other? Like, seek each other out. Let me see. Let me go to a business that's owned by another Israelite. Let me do business like that. Let's be for real. Let's be honest. That right there tells you that there is a problem. That right there tells you there is a problem. That other people can do it, but Israel cannot. Or will not. We do it on the smallest of scales. Go to some of these groups. Go to some of these camps. Go to some of these conferences. Go to some of these... Nothing. As a whole, we don't get it done. We don't get it done. I'm not saying that some of us individually are not successful. But does Israel build up Israel? Let's continue. Matthew 18. Let's go to Matthew 18. Okay, in community. Then we're going to start to talk about savings and investing and things like that, right? Matthew 18. And we're going to do 18 Where are we at? Matthew 18 and verse 15. Okay. Matthew 15. Okay. 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, see, 18, 15, trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. And if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Okay. So if you have a problem with the brother, again, community or not, you have a problem with a brother. Okay. And you need to go tell him, hey man, you know, you did this or that offended me, or what did you mean by that, or this is how I took it, or whatever. Let the person know, because sometimes the person's not even aware, right? So you let them know. And if he said, oh, you know what, my bad, I didn't even know that, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and he repent of that, you gained your brother. It's all good, right? Now let's continue. Okay, and it says 16, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established, right? So now you have witnesses, right? You take 2 more brothers and say, hey, I need to go talk to this brother. I got an issue. Okay, I got an issue with this brother. And then you go talk to him, hey man, look, I just want to tell you, I had a problem with XYZ. Okay, I didn't appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. If he didn't want to hear you, right? You went to him the first time, he didn't really want to hear it. You go back and say, man, listen. And then you tell him his fault right there. And at that time, you had your 2 witnesses, and they know, well, yeah, he tried to talk to him. They can help you, and they testify in the church. Hey, he tried to talk to him. He didn't even want to hear it, right? Dude didn't apologize, didn't repent, none of that, right? But now you got witnesses. And if he shall neglect to hear them, so now they try to talk to him, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, now everybody is telling the dude, okay, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican, meaning he's out of here. He's gone. 18, verily I say unto you, whosoever ye shall bind on earth, or whatsoever ye shall bind on earth, shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Okay, again I say unto thee, that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. For where there are 2 or 3 gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Okay, so in a community, Yah shows up. Because he wants us to be in harmony. He wants us to be, if we're going to be together, he wants you to be in harmony and in order. Point blank, period, bottom line. That's what he wants. Now, it's going to take some doing to get you there. But you can get there. You can get there. The more carnality that you can get out of you and getting more spiritual in you, and Holy Spirit, the Word of God, you get that, the light, more light you let in, then you can have that harmony. You can achieve that harmony. You can. Okay? 2 or more gathered in his name, he's in the midst. Now what about in the community? Okay, let's continue. Okay, we're going to go to Romans. We're still talking a little bit more about community and working together and trying to be together. Romans 12. Romans chapter 12. Get into the savings and investing and all that in just a second. Romans 12. We're going to do 12, 1 through 16. And I beseech ye, brethren, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God has dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, meaning we all have different positions, so we, being many, are one body in Christ, and every one member one of another, right? One body. We're made up of different parts, and each part have a different function, but all together we work together perfectly. And that's how it would be in the community, right? Everyone has an office, right? Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith, Or ministry. Let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence. He that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. That love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. And be kindly affectionate one to another in brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another. Does that not sound like living amongst each other? Does not sound like how we should at least deal with one another? Because I tell you right now, you're not going to know the full measure of your faith. You're not going to know whether or not you are mastering what's going on in this book until you have to live with the brethren, right? And I'm not there. I'm not in community, right? I'm not in community. So I'll even admit, I don't know the full extent of my faith or how much of the book that I really got internalized until I have to live it among the brethren. And I've already felt the frustration. I've already tried to be with, certain brethren and stuff like that. And hey, it's all frustrating. I've been with brethren who are just all talk, no action. I've been with brethren who apparently I offended them in some way. Didn't tell me, and then just cut it off to where they don't want to talk to me, right? I didn't do anything to them, but okay, didn't tell me what it was or whatever, and boom, we don't talk. It's just different. Been with other brethren, you can't get them on the phone. You can't. I've been there. Okay, I've been there. So a lot of times this whole community thing don't work. It's people, right? Now I know there's got to be a meeting of the mind. I know there's got to be some personality meshing and everything, but everything's not going to be super duper perfect. Everything's not going to be super duper perfect, right? Now I know a couple of good brothers too. I know a couple of good brothers who are very serious, who want to do it, who want to get move their family out of the city and eager to do certain things, right? And they're taking care of a couple of things, taking care of some debt and, getting things ready. Some people, some brothers prepping, getting things ready, right? Sometimes it's just not a good match, okay? Not that somebody's evil or, it's not that. Sometimes just not a good personality match, right? So we don't have to drag each other's name through the mud or anything like that. We don't have to do that. Okay? It's okay. It's just not a good match. Okay? So we're going to finish up because we got Romans 12 and I stopped at about 9. So 11 actually. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Not slothful in business. When it's time to take care of business, we got to do it. We got to put our hand to the plow. We got to start building. We got to start prepping. We got to start doing things, getting things done. Every day, up doing something, getting something done to further the community, right? All these things. And I'm saying all this so those who think, I think I want to live in a community, I'm trying to give you just a small glimpse of everything that it's going to take to be in a community dwelling with one another, right? And then if you can answer that question to yourself, like, yeah, I can do this. Okay, then proceed further, okay? Check the description box below. Send me an email. It says, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. All these things, right? These two lessons, part 1, part 2, this is part of the vetting process, right? Because you want to know why it's part of the vetting process? Because some people are not going to email and say they just weeded themselves out. That's okay. I don't think ill of them. I don't think ill of nobody, right? I don't, okay? Some people are looking at this and they're already in the community somewhere. They're already on their own land. They already live out in the country, right? So this is not an indictment on anybody who doesn't, email or anything like that. I'm just saying, but it's part of the whole weeding out process. Some people are going to hear something in the message and be like, nope, I'm not doing that. That's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. We don't have to waste each other. I don't have to waste your time. I don't have to twist your arm. You don't have to do that. That's why I'm saying you contact me. Okay? If that's something that you're serious about and you want to do, right? And 13, distributing to the necessity of the saints, given to hospitality. That's how the community is supposed to be. Hospitable to one another, loving one another. One of your brother, they need something to eat, you feed them. A brethren down on their luck, okay, you give them a place to lay their head. I don't care, even if it's a tent outside or whatever, hey, that's it. Okay? That's hospitality. Okay, I got a whole lesson on just how we're supposed to be hospitable one toward another, right? Okay, bless them that persecute you, bless and curse not, rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep, bearing each other's burdens, right? And be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, and but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits, right? This is how we should be, okay? And this is captivity, okay? We already read Jeremiah, okay? This over here, this is in Romans. This Jerusalem is already occupied by the Romans. And he's still saying the same thing. The theocracy of Israel is gone. Okay, at this point, it's all but gone. Okay, until 70 AD, but it's all but gone. And still, these are the words we're left with. After John the Revelator, that's all we're left with. And it stands. Right? So let's continue. Romans 1. We just want a couple of verses, right? Romans 1. And I want 11 and 12, which reads, For I long to see you, that I may impart unto you some spiritual gift, to the end ye may be established. That is, that I may comfort together with you by the mutual faith, both of you and me. Okay? So we're gonna continue. We're not done. Okay? So we're going to comfort each other, right? Now let's go on over to Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 10. Okay? I'm driving this community thing, driving it home, and we'll get to saving and investing and all that. Say Hebrews 10, 24 and 25. 24 says this, And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to what? Good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. Some of you see the day approaching. Some of you see that. So some people are fleeing the cities. Some people are fleeing the country, trying to go to Israel. It doesn't look good right now over there. Okay, it's not a good idea right now. But some people trying to flee to Israel. But some people at least try to flee to the countries. And have you seen the prices of land right now? People are snapping it up. Because people are seeing the day approach. And I've worked with some realtors and stuff, and they were just selling. And of course, they're not spiritual or anything or biblical, but they're like, man, I don't understand. We just got this massive surge of sales. I mean, every time we list a property, and boom, it's gone. I had some property up in the mountains. I got rid of that because there's not enough water for vegetation and stuff like that. So gone. Couple of weeks, gone. Okay, didn't take very long. Took maybe a month for some land out, in the Ozarks. It was gone. This is what we're talking about. It's because some people see the day approaching. Some people see the day approaching. Do you? Okay, let's go ahead and keep going. Okay. Let's go to the book of Acts. Let's do that one. Okay, let's go to the book of Acts. Now I said there's more than one way to skin a deer, but here's one way presented to us, right? I know the saying is cat, but I'd rather use a clean animal, right? So, otherwise, what's the purpose of skinning a cat? So Acts 2, right? Well, I'll say yak, because at least that's bovine. That's clean. More than one way to skin a yak, right? So, Acts chapter 2, I'm going to start at verse 40, right? And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, save yourselves from this untoward generation. What we're saying now. This is what I'm saying right now, right? This is what I'm saying right now. Then they that gladly received his word were baptized, and the same day they were added unto them about 3,000 souls. Can you imagine if 3,000 people came together right now, bought some land and start building? Can you imagine that? How fast can you get a land going? Everybody going all in. Okay, never mind. And they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, and in breaking of bread and in prayer. We can't teach. We can't break the Bible down with each other. We can't have dinner. Okay. And pray. And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. And all that believed were together and had all things common. 45. And sold their possessions and goods, and departed them to all men as every man had need. As every man had need. And they continuing daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart. All the same thing, right? Praising God and having favor with all people. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. And that's the exact same thing that's going to happen when this movement of going into community is like it's exploding, right? People are really starting to take it serious and really starting to do. I mean, some people, they took 2020 as a sign and said, you know what, I'm moving to a community, right? Not everybody, but some people, right? They're like, yeah, no, I'm moving to a community. That's all the warning I need. I'm gone, right? So I get it, but that's going to happen. Explosion. You look at some of these other communities; they are exploding with people. I'm moving out. I'm moving. I'm going to the community. Okay, whatever. Okay, that can be the leader or whatever. I'll help out. Get in where I fit in. I'm moving to community. Because they stopped looking so much at what they want personally and wanted to see the betterment of the community. What can I add to the community rather than what can I get from the community? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if everybody had the same attitude of what can I get from the community? So now everyone's sucking the community dry. But what if, reverse the attitude and everyone's attitude was what can I give or what can I add to the community? Think about that for a second. You think about that just for a second there. Now, while you do that, let's go on over to Acts 4, chapter 4. And we're going to read 31 and 32, which reads, And when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and they spake the word of God with boldness. And the multitude of them that believed were one heart and one soul. Neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common. Now, remember, I know that's hard for some people right there. That right there ain't gonna happen. I got a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna share it with a bunch of freeloaders, and I'm not gonna do that. And then you have some that say, well, I don't have that much. So I mean, I only have a little bit. I want to give it a little bit of half. Okay. That's it. That's a you thing. You have to think about those type of things. That's a you thing. You have to go and you have to have your heart checked. You got to go into your prayer closet, as it were, and you got to work those things out. Because obviously we're not called to be foolish. At the same time, we got to be of one heart, one mind, one purpose. We all got to pretty much want the same thing. And if we're not aligned with the same thing, don't proceed. Don't go forward. Okay, let's continue. So we're going to go on over, if I skip a couple of things, guys, all the scriptures are in the description box below, right? So if I skip a little something, you won't miss anything. So Like right now, I'm about to skip something. I'm going to go ahead and get into the savings and investing and stuff like that, right? So we're going to go to Psalm 37. Psalm 37. Let's talk about it, right? Psalm 37. Start at 14. Okay, 14. It says, the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and the needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation or lifestyle, right? Of an upright. So yeah, you're going to try to have an upright conversation on upright lifestyle. That's the whole reason why you're thinking about moving to a community, because you want to have an upright lifestyle, right? No problem. People are going to hate you for it. People are gonna talk about you. They're gonna hate you. They're gonna slander you. You're not gonna get out of this unscathed. People are gonna say some bad things about you. I'm just letting you know now. Count the cost, right? 15. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. Now imagine something else strikes, something worse than a 2020, and you're prepared. You're out of the city. You're prepared. Your family's prospering, and they're not. That's what this is right here. In 16, a little that a righteous man has is better than the riches of many wicked. Keep that in mind. Let's drop down to 23. We're going to do 23, 25. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighted in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hands. Okay, let's keep that in mind. At 25. I have been young, and now am old, and yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. And that can be yours. Okay, that can be yours. And no, I'm not saying, oh, you got to be in community to have that, but no, that can be yours. You want to live righteously, you want to live set apart, you do the right thing. Now, going out there and living set apart, like I said, people are going to say something. They're going to have something to say about you. Okay, I made some moves in my profession, and believe me, some of the people that I moved on from, they got something to say. Oh, he got all religious, and he don't eat dinner with us, and he don't do that, and then he's moving over here, and what's going on? They're going to keep talking. I know who I serve. And we don't serve the same God, so my God asked me to do certain things, and I need to do everything I can to do it. My question is, who am I trying to please? Whom am I trying to please? Am I trying to please the Most High, or am I trying to please the most heathens? You can please the Most High, or you can please the most heathens. It's up to you. That's it. I don't know what else to tell you. So we're going to keep moving. Proverbs 21. Proverbs 21. I'm going to go Proverbs 21, verse 5, and I'm going to skip. It says, the thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but of everyone that is hasty only to want, meaning lack, right? And you're going to end up with nothing. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwellings of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up, right? So you're saving, and we're talking about saving and stuff right there, right? You're saving, you're planning, you're getting yourself, right? Another thing, save, get up out of debt too, right? Do that as well. Okay, so now we're going to do this here. Okay, saving, investing. Matthew 25. Look at this story over in Matthew for me real quick. Look at this story over here. Okay, Matthew 25. Now watch this. Over in Matthew 25, we're going to start at 14. Okay, and look at what he says here. Okay, because we're going to read up to 30. And he says, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, and to another 2, and to another 1. To everyone according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then He that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. So basically he doubled it. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that received 1 went and digged it in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord, those servants cometh and reckoned with them. Like he wanted to see what was going on, do a status check. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. And he also, that had received 2 talents, came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things, and I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant. Look at what he was mad at. Wicked and slothful, right? Servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sown not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury, with interest. Investing. I'm gonna go away. I'm a business owner. I'm gonna go away. You handle the business. I should have more money when I get back than when I left. Now, again, there's a number of different asset classes, right? Okay, I'm gonna step outside the Bible, and there's different asset classes, right? Do a little bit in personal finance and look at certain things, right? So some of us, you go to real estate. Some of you guys have properties. Some of you guys out there, you have properties, and you get various properties, and you get a positive cash flow. You have an income stream. You get some passive income from that, from the rents from your property, right? So you may have apartments or homes, single family homes, and things like that. There's some cash flow. You make some money. Your net worth starts to build and grow. Some of you guys are into portfolio type income, stocks, things like that. Some of you guys are in options, and you invest, and you hope to have gains, right? You hope to have gains. You invest, and you learn your trade. You have certain strategies, and you hope to have gains. Some of you guys are moving to a new asset class. You moved into cryptocurrencies and things like that. Some of you guys have an idea of different, cryptocurrencies you like to invest in. I mean, I like cryptocurrency too. Study that. In fact, on another channel, talk about cryptocurrency, right? Talk about that. Description box below. But talk about those. And you hope to have gains from those, and you're preparing, right? So it's important. There's nothing wrong with preparing. There's nothing wrong with investing. There's nothing wrong with saving, right? Because the purpose is righteous. As long as your purpose is righteous. Because I know a lot of people that, you can't serve 2 masters and all this stuff. Usually, that usually come from those that struggling, right? And it's something that, kind of make them feel better and things like that, right? And I'm not trying to be ugly or nothing like that. I'm just saying, let's go ahead and kill these sacred cows, okay? Because it says for the love of money. Don't love money. It's what I'm going to do with it, right? It's what you're going to do with it, okay? If you're doing it to better the community, if you're doing it to help the brethren, it's better to help your family, because a wise man leaveth inheritance for his children's children. How are you going to do that? I'll just buy a big house and I'll leave. Okay, that house takes money, right? It takes money. You need to buy the house and pass it on to your children. You buy the land, you pass it on to your children. Okay. You have a particular portfolio, you get that, boom. fix it, put it in a trust or something, and pass it on to your children. Your life insurance, it costs money. Okay, it costs money. You die and you pass it on to the benefits go to the children. So it's still biblical to have some money and to invest and to save. Still, it's the same thing when Solomon prayed his prayer that, he just wanted wisdom on how to lead his people, how to lead them, how to love them, how to have judgment and things like that. And then he got all those things. See, if you and I are kingdom minded, then like he said, seek first the kingdom of God, and then all those things will be added onto you. So if your mind's already on, okay, if I have some money, this is what I'm going to do. That benefits the kingdom. That benefits your family. That benefits your community. Okay, not just you. One day you and I, we're going to die. Right? One day you and I, we're going to fall asleep. But is there someone else behind us? Like maybe a loved one, a spouse, children, community, or the people behind us? Is there a generation behind you? That's what you're accumulating for. You're accumulating for that. So you can leave something for the next generation. Now I know, no one left you anything. We have to start somewhere. I understand that some of you are first generation patriarchs, first generation Hebrew Israelites in a sense of being aware of it. Not everyone's parent, they knew and they taught you your identity and all that. I get it. Some of you are first generation awakened. Let's keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. All right. So where we Matthew, and we already read up to. Okay, so we're gonna stop there at 27. I got it all the way to 30, but we're gonna stop there at 27. I don't want to talk about the punishment and things like that. Genesis. Okay, let's go on back to Genesis. Okay, Genesis, and we're gonna read Genesis 4. We're gonna Genesis 41. Genesis 41. And we're going to go to 41. We're going to read 34 to 36, right? 34 to 36. So 2 verses. It says, let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and to take up a fifth part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the Most High, and he took this wisdom, obviously he took the wisdom from Joseph and said, hey, look, okay, let's go ahead and do this and get prepared, because a famine is coming. So let me ask you, did they make it through those 7 years of famine? They prepared. They prepared for what the wise man sees the danger or sees the evil coming and prepares himself or hides himself or prepares himself. Okay, let's continue. Ecclesiastes 11. Ecclesiastes chapter 11. Just want one verse. Be verse 2. And he says, give a portion to 7 and also to 8. For thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. It's like diversifying, right? You know what? Let me get a little bit of real estate. Let me get a little bit of stock. Let me get a little bit of crypto. You just never know. Like for instance, a lot of us who pay attention to the finances. A lot of us who pay attention to that, we say, okay, well, the American dollar is about to die. This is going to be a problem. What do I need to do to hedge against inflation, right? Some people go to precious metals to hedge against inflation. Some people might go to stocks to hedge against inflation. Some people say, okay, I'm going to put my money into real estate. And some people put their money into crypto, okay? Give a portion of 7 or also to 8. For thou knowest not what evil shall be upon her. You don't know what's going to happen. We have an economic collapse. Are you prepared for that? Are you ready? I just want that to sink in for you, brothers and sisters. Are we ready for what happens next? Let's continue. Proverbs 13. I'm not even sure about this one. Proverbs 13. You don't mind if we run over a little bit, right? It's a Sabbath. You got nothing to do. Proverbs 13 and 11. He says, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. So you're working hard and you gather it by labor doing something. Okay. You can also work smart. Okay. I'm not saying you always got to break your back every time, but you also can work smart. Okay. That's still hard. And that shall increase. Okay. Not the ill-gotten gains, not the fast buck or anything like that. Diligence, studying, understand what you're doing. You say, you know what? I think I'm going to go to real estate. Well, you better learn real estate. You better learn how to do that. Okay. I'm gonna go to the stocks. You better learn crypto. You better learn precious metals. You better learn. So don't just try to go hastily. You'd be like, oh well, everybody's talking about this, so let me go ahead and learn. Okay, learn first. All right, and get that, and then you shall increase. Let's keep that in mind. Okay. So we're gonna continue Psalm 112. Let's go back one book. 112. Psalm 112. And I believe you just want one verse, verse 5. A good man showeth favor and lendeth, and he will guide his affairs with discretion, being smart about what he's doing, smart of how he's handling his business. Part of investing. Okay, and then he lended, right? Some people invest. You think I got to lend to like a person all the time? No, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I can have an interest-bearing account. I can lend out my crypto and I get back some interest on that. Okay, but you got to be smart about it, right? You got to know what you're doing. You got to be smart about it. You can get a yield on some of your investments, right? You rent out your house or apartment and you get money back. Okay, you're lending that space out. There's an app out there called Neighbor or something, right? You got some extra space in your house, maybe an extra bedroom or extra space in your garage or something like that. And some people will pay you because they don't have the room. They'll pay you to let them store something at your house for money every month. Okay. It's like Uber for space, okay? It's like just how Uber disrupted cab companies or whatever. It's like Neighbor is disrupting public storage, right? Maybe you don't need maybe you just need to store this one little thing or whatever. Or maybe the person has an extra car and you have extra space in your garage and they pay you to let them store their car in your garage. So I'm lending them space and I'm making money, right? I'm just saying. But we could talk. We could talk about that. We could talk about that another time. I'm just giving you an idea, right? Psalm. We did 112 and 5. So let's do Luke 16, right? Luke 16. Okay, let's go to Luke 16. And you guys are gonna have a lot of bonus scriptures there in the description box below for you to keep studying. Luke 16, do 10 and 12. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. And if therefore ye have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? And if ye have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? Okay? So, if you cannot be diligent and faithful and trustworthy with investing and saving a little, then you're never going to be trusted with true riches. If you don't have mastery over a little, then you'll never have mastery over a lot. And all these things need to be taken care of and need to be in order. All these things, we need to get this down. We need to put all this into practice. If we ever hope to be able to dwell in harmony with one another and see our righteous children grow with other righteous children, and our sons and daughters are married off to other righteous sons and daughters, and how families get strengthened. This is group economics. This is family economics and group economics. This is how you prosper, by joining together. It's like a lot of families. You hear the stories of immigrant families. They coming over. I got my immigrant father and mother. They came over and they had $60 in their pocket and they worked hard and they did this and did that, and then they opened up this business and opened up that business, and the family helps them out and all that, and they prosper. And now they got a whole chain of businesses, have franchises and all that. You've heard the stories. Israel's supposed to be the same way. It's supposed to be the head, not the tail, right? Supposed to be the lender and not the borrower, right? That's how we're supposed to be, right? So what stops you? What stops us from practicing group economics? Is it the other people or is it Israel? What stops us from practicing group economics to where we can all prosper? Brothers and sisters, if anyone out there have a serious inclination, just contact me down below, send an email. But with that, I hope somebody has been edified by the message. And if so, hey, pass it along, share it, please. Share the message. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next lesson. Shalom, Israel.